Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Uploaded. I'm Chris, and I bought into the hype. Yes, it's true. I bought into all the fanfare behind the 750 Ti from NVIDIA, the little and yet powerful, very low power draw graphics card that's on the scene with the Maxwell architecture and all the goodness that comes with the latest from NVIDIA. Now the GTX 750 Ti is a very unique graphics card actually. There's a lot about it that kind of makes it stand out from what has been out on the market for quite a while now. The biggest benefit of this card is fairly decent performance, low to mid-range at a very affordable price. Most of these run between $150 to $200 at the time of recording this. And the best part of all, extremely low power draw. So why did I buy this graphics card? I already have a 780 Ti in my 4770K gaming and editing rig, and I've got a 7850 sitting over in my home theater PC right over there from just a couple of years ago, and it's still a perfectly capable graphics card. Well, a couple of things encouraged me to do this. Number one, I'm actually going to use the 7850 in a different build. It's going to be a system that I'm going to be giving to my dad as his new gaming PC. So, with that opportunity on the table, there was really no better option than the 750 Ti for a home theater PC build. Now, why? Well, first off, the card is small, so it doesn't take up a lot of room inside an already cramped case. Second, this card, this particular model, does not require a 6-pin power cable. Some do, some don't. I did my research. This is one of the highest clocked 750 Ti's out there that does not require a 6-pin cable, and not only that, even compared to the ones that do, it's still one of the highest clocked cards, and it can overclock. So, that makes it perfect for a home theater PC build. It's small, it doesn't require the 6-pin, and most of all, it runs at an incredibly low power draw, which is great because that system is on almost all the time. So with all this fanfare on the table, let's dig into this thing, see what you get inside this box, take a look at how small this card actually is, and then put it through its paces with some benchmarks on my Xeon 1230 V3 home theater PC. So as you can clearly see, this is PNY's edition of the 750 Ti with 2 gigabytes of video memory, which is pretty much standard across the board. But what makes this card pretty unique is what's on the back. Looking at the back of the box, you can see immediately PNY points out this little chart here between a standard stock 750 Ti and then this version of the card that is overclocked. Some of the manufacturers call it superclocked. So key things here. This has 640 CUDA cores, 2 gigabytes of memory, and here's the showstopper according to PNY. This card is actually clocked at 1202 megahertz with a boost of 1281. Now that's pretty impressive. If you compare this against some of the other cards out there, that's one of the highest boost clocks that you're going to get on a 750 Ti. And like I said, really interesting thing about that is no auxiliary power connection needed. So let's take a look inside the box. All right, slide out the card, and there it is in all of its glory. Look how small that thing is. That's so small. It's so nice. Get everything out of the way here. So lift that up and see what's below it. So first things first, driver install disk, big deal. Download your drivers. You know how I feel about that. This is something that I ripped off. This isn't going to be a keeper box, I have a feeling. I tore it up pretty good getting into it. Let's see what you get inside here. So you've got your little D-sub to DVI. Pretty common to have this in graphics cards now. And then finally, your manual. So it's one of those ones that folds out. All right, so it's kind of giving you a heads up on all the different things inside the card, the software. Here's a breakdown of your different, wow, this must be a universal guide. It's telling you all the different kinds of system buses you can have. PCI, AGP, or PCIe. Are they still selling anything in PCI? I mean, even AGP would surprise me. So there's that. Yeah, that's how it was folded. Okay, let's take a look at this little guy. He's cool looking. Okay, so pop the top off, and the card is just loosey-goosey. It's right there. It's ready to go. There it is. So nice and small, nice and compact. Now, the thing that was really nice about this card was the fact, if you look around the card, nowhere on it is there a 6-pin. This card does not require a cable running from the power supply to the card, which is fantastic because in a home theater PC build, you don't want any additional cables running in your system if you don't need them. It just makes things cleaner, keeps air moving, and just makes the build, especially in a cramped case, far easier. So some of the features of this card. Obviously, it has this nice fan on top, which is a little bit of a departure from stock. The stock of this card actually doesn't even have this little cover. This does appear to be the stock PCB from what I've seen. It's just instead of on this side having this nice shroud over the top, it's just a round heatsink with a fan on it with all of the chips exposed. So PNY took the extra step to go ahead and put this nice cover on it, which I think looks nice. Gives it a little bit of a higher end look. All right, taking a look at the connections on the card, you've got your DVI-D and DVI-I, so you've got your analog and your digital, and then you've got over here your mini HDMI. Now, one of the downsides to this is a lot of cards that use mini HDMI will include a little converter, but looking at the box, the only thing that I pulled out of it was a little D-sub adapter guy, the driver disc, and the impossible to refold manual. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're going to get this card and hook it up to a home theater PC. You will need to make sure that you invest in the adapter cable. Not a huge deal, but unless you have a DVI to HDMI cable just sitting around or a mini HDMI cable, make sure you go ahead and grab one of those for a few bucks on Newegg or Amazon or wherever you pick up your card. The PCB has a nice color to it. It's, it's not blue or anything like that, or purple, which I've seen some be. So it's not going to stick out too much, although I'm never going to see the inside of my case because it sits in my entertainment center underneath my television. But to some people, that may be a concern. It is still a dual height card, so keep that in mind. You will need to be able to have enough room in your case to accommodate that. So let's take a look at just how this bad boy performs. Is it packing some decent power in this small little package?